Whispers of Lore is the debut full-length album from Receiver, a Nicosia, Cyprus-based heavy metal band, and one that plays a very traditional style of epic heavy metal with some folk influences as well. You can tell that the new wave of British heavy metal was a big part of course, any type of band in this style, but that goes a little bit deeper than Iron Maiden, and you can feel there's a bit of pagan altar in some of their register of the vocalist. You can also feel that there's sort of a an attempt to meet the theme here with a style that is very precise in the way that I would measure it, the same way that a band like Omen is, in that their phrases and their guitar work match up in register and pace in a very distinct way, and the storytelling of the vocalist is very distinct and commanding for the first, I would say, four or so pieces on here. So we'll cut into the opener and the first single to get an idea of what I mean, and this really gives a sense of the momentum of the first half of the album. So really, if you were impressed by that first single, you got an idea of what this album delivers in droves. It's this charging, sort of very traditional storyteller heavy metal feeling. It's adventurous. It's pushing out, and the middle of the album, they cut into a pretty solid cover of a theme from Golden Axe, from the first level of the arcade and Genesis game, which of course that catches my ear, but it starts to show us what else they can do besides that strong sort of 80s power epic heavy metal influenced sound. And they don't quite stretch out into doom metal so much as they do a folkish sort of Slewfeg kind of saunter on one of the songs. There's a little bit more of a pagan altar touch to another piece, and ultimately we get something that shows off a little bit of their interest in 70s heavy metal, late 70s style, and I kind of like that side of the band as well. But the whole thing is there's a strong separation from side A and side B on this record, and if you're listening on CD, it sort of progresses through this first half, which is very directive and shows you what they can do, and the second half tries to pull in a lot of different styles and interests to keep it interesting throughout the second half. And I felt like it kind of lost a little bit of steam as they pulled in those other types of songs. And it might have been more dynamic if they just integrated those different styles into the full run of the record, so it felt more complete and more modern, as this is the way that you kind of see a record of the 70s and 80s, where they put all the strongest, most related pieces up front, and whatever else was left over was kind of the second half of it, which is not a problem for me. It's actually a great album. A great debut from these guys, and a lot of personality up front. I think the album art is very strong and thematic, and everything seems very well considered with this band. They have been around for a while and kind of pulled back into it around 2017, and they've come up with a really good debut. I think there's a lot more to see from this band, and I saw a lot of potential in that, and that sort of created more excitement for this record. So it is a high recommendation for me. The record is out today. Go ahead and check it out, and read the review if you want more information out of me.